Yo, what's up, everybody? From Beantown to your town. This is the Beantown Beatdown. I'm Matthew Barris.
Gabe is here, also from Beantown. How's it going, everyone?
Yep, how's it going?
Cracking open some beers like the good old summer days on the porch.
Yep.
That's one of the things I love best, and I hope these summer days will still go for about a month or two, and we hold on to that here in New England.
Yeah. These are, this is like watermelon beer. I've had these at Tasty Burger. They're not the best beer in the world, but they're not the worst. It's like something I would probably drink if I'm drunk off some other shit, but these are the only beers, Gabe.
That's the way it says it, yep.
Yeah, this is...
Some of us don't like actual beer though, so you gotta take that into those of us guys that can handle some down home beer. It's a bit different. This is closer to that stuff, so it's not always cool not to like it.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into it with some headlines. First and foremost, ever since Ronda Rousey's 34-second demolish of Betcha Corher, which, by the way, I saw at my brother's house. That was a badass fight.
Dude, nice.
Oh, yes, man. She's a bad bitch. A badass bitch. But, of course, since that fight, it's been reported that her book, My Fight, Your Fight, has been sold to Universal Studios. She sold the rights to it. And they're going to be making a movie out of it. Not only is she going to be the executive producer of it, but she's going to be starring in it as herself.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, you were kind of sounding like you were a bit down on it there, though.
No, I wasn't down.
Okay. I was wondering where this was going. If it was like I wish she hadn't sold her rights because it's an awesome story, I would understand if you were going to say that. But I know where you're going now, so that's good.
No, man, I think that's good for Ronda. She's really getting more into the acting thing. Of course, she's got one more fight with Miesha Tate. The third fight, which, of course, she's gonna demolish her, and then she's gonna go off and film Mile 22 with our own Beantown boy, Mark Wahlberg.
There you go.
And once she's done filming the movie, there'll be some better contenders out there. Hopefully, Holly Holmes, hopefully she'll be the next contender because, she really has improved since her last fight. And, she's a former world boxing champion and, her kickboxing skills are excellent. So that's a fight I would love to see. Absolutely.
So you're saying you definitely want to see two really skilled opponents when they wail on each other, like these girls, like they're.
Yeah.
I mean, is this other one? Is she an all-around fighter like Ronda, or is she more like?
Who, Holly? Or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's
Is this a more badass chick as well?
Oh yeah, she's a former world boxing champion. She's also done some kickboxing, and she's been training with Mike Wicklejohn for years, ever since she was 15.
Gotcha.
She came from soccer to boxing to kickboxing.
There you go. Gotcha.
Yeah, she's known him. They've known each other since she was a pup. So, of course she's got to keep on.
Is that what they say in the fighting world, by the way? They say that since you were a pup.
No, I think that's just in general thing. Ever since I knew you since you were a kid, it's like, I've known you. I've known him or her since they were a pup.
Okay.
But
I was about to say. I mean, I could understand if they might say that in fighting because a pup grows into like a dog, it grows into a wolf. Maybe.
Yeah, but good for Ronda. Keep the acting roles coming and also keep the wins coming as well.
There you go. Yeah.
And now we're gonna get into some more news. Some news from the kickboxing world.
Right.
I was watching Glory 23 at Tasty Burger, which I'll get into more later. It was announced during that night that Gabriel Varga will be defending his featherweight Glory World title against Serhiy Admachuk from the Ukraine.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting battle between Canada and Russia. Because the Canadians are known for their kickboxing. Joseph Attolini, Gabe Varga, of course, Mark Hominick, who fought in the UFC, and before then he was a North American kickboxing champion. In fact, Mario Zarumkis, I think that's the name, the head trainer at TriStar Gym, trains Roy McDonald and George Roy St. Pierre. He was a good kickboxer himself. He was a kickboxer before he became a head trainer. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I learned in my kickboxing class that sometimes it really does take, even if you're going into other like fighting methods, it does take some kickboxing to be a good trainer.
Exactly. And the Russians, I mean, I don't know much about this Russian guy, but I know one thing: he'll be coming to win. The Russians really have been taking over, in mixed martial arts. They've been taking over in kickboxing and boxing, with the dominance of Golovkin and Sergey Karlov, and I've said it before, man. The Russians are here for two things: to kick ass and drink vodka. They're all out of vodka right now. They're all out of vodka, so they got to go with the ass kicking.
Yeah, and you don't want to mess with the Russian one who's been out of
Oh
vodka.
yes, fighting. One thing I know in combat sports, fighting a Russian sucks. It sucks.
You said Ukrainian before. Are you talking Russian Ukrainian as like one sort of thing?
Yeah, sometimes I get confused.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, no, I'm actually like Ukrainian in my distant family. So yeah,
so we all know who you'll be voting for that night.
If he's actually Ukrainian, then maybe. Yeah. No, but yeah, I feel like it's there is something about the Slavic like spirit or whatever, and yeah, I can't do as many other alcohols, but I do like swig down beer, swig down vodka.
Oh,
it's good to know how to do.
Oh yeah, and that of course is going to be going down at the Dynamite card, Bellator and Glory Kickboxing, and this card really is starting to shape up pretty good, and cannot wait for this to go down.
Awesome.
And last but not least, this Friday night on Spike TV, we got Premier Boxing Champions. The main event, Antonio Tarver versus Steve Cunningham. Steve Cunningham, former cruiserweight champion, a fighter out of Philadelphia, former member of the Navy as well. Taking on the legendary Antonio Tarver, former light heavyweight champion and cruiserweight champion. He's moved up to heavyweight, and he's just been on a roll. He's been on the comeback. And a win for one of these fighters will definitely might put them in line for a title, for the heavyweight championship. I mean,
there you go.
I don't know about fighting Klitschko, but maybe Deontay Wilder, who's the current WBC heavyweight champion. But this is a good comeback fight for both of these guys, and the heavyweight division, we really do need some new blood in there. We got Deontay Wilder; he's been kicking ass, undefeated.
Yeah.
We got Antonio Tarver, who not once but twice beat the legendary Roy Jones Jr. In fact, in the third fight, when they were doing introductions, you know how the referee goes, "Any questions? Any questions?" Mm-hmm. Tarver says, "Yeah, I got a question," and he put up his hand, to shake hands with Roy and went, "You got any excuses tonight, Roy?"
Oh, man.
Yeah, because Roy made an excuse for why he lost in the second fight, but Tarver, he just put up his dude, was like, "All right, you got any excuses now, motherfucker? You got excuses why when I beat your ass this time?"
That's a way to do it. Bring it down.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that fight goes down Friday night, 9 o'clock on Spike TV. I'm gonna try to watch a little bit of it at a bar or club, whatever. I mean, I got it on DVR, but I gotta get a live, man. I gotta go get a girl. Ladies, you're looking at a free lunch. You're looking at a free lunch here. Come and get it. All right. Hand it over to you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we're with all that going on. I mean, what else can you say, right? So anyway, I'm going on to the next episode of my new segment, Macho Doesn't Mean That. And, and again, we're talking about, trying to help guys, like, remember what like, being a protector and a man actually is. you know, it's a lot of different things, and it's not like one thing, and it's not, you know, it's not everything you see on TV. You know, I'm gonna bring it down and be real like that.
Right.
I mean, I know, you know, these guys, you know, you start seeing jumping off a building, you want to jump off a building, you know, it's, I understand the compulsion, trust me, I'm right there with you, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But, you know, there's all sorts of, like, other shit to consider, like, you know, if James Bond had to consider, like, you know, whether or not he'd come home to his family and he, you know, jumps on the rope across the buildings, like, he wouldn't do it as well, let's be real, you know, so, you know, you should like, in real life, there are actual things to think about, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. And so, you know, I do respect certain things in these great action movies, but sometimes you gotta think about something real, you know. So, yeah, there's all sorts of shit that you're taught that we're trying not to be taught. Some of it we're trying not to be taught in this day and age, and one of them, I would say, is like freaking this whole idea you can beat up on people that are weaker than you. To seem, you know, weaker or to seem even cooperative is like to seem weak, and you know that's not a good thing. That's not freaking macho. That's, you know, that's another way to be cowardly. Actually, you know, what's the line? Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, guys. You know, some guys put themselves up in this situation where they can just knock someone down, but that doesn't mean that they're actually powerful, and it doesn't mean they're doing it for any good reason. So, you know, like, I wanted to stay at a fun level there. Trust me, I'm down to talk about fun shit all the time. That's what I do, is talk about fun shit. But, you know, you might not believe me sometimes watching this podcast, but it's actually true. But you kind of can't stay at talking about fun shit right now, because there is something else to be talking about, and that is, you know, like I just said, it's not cool or powerful to beat up on someone, you know, that's weaker or needs help, and then also, you know, the perception out there is that, you know, you can beat up on fags. Let's just put it out there. You can beat up on sissies, right? Because they, you know, they seem like a mark. They won't fight back. All this type of stuff. So not true. You know, a lot of them are very well-toned, work out, whatever, to be stereotypical there. But also just, you know, they've got families. Their families will protect them. You know, some families will take that as far as to be like, you mess with my fucking kid,
yeah,
bam. Like, we won't, you know, think twice about coming to your house and putting a fist in your face.
Exactly.
You know, so even if you think you can mess with that kid that seems femmy or faggy or whatever, I can say those words because I'm making a point right now. And it's actually not true when you're dealing with all of their family, for one. And for two, some of us will fucking beat your ass, okay? And, you know, this, we really lived through a dark time in the 90s into the 2000s, and sometimes still today with people committing suicide, sometimes still today. But we lived through a dark time of, you know, of people just, you know, mostly men taking on themselves to kill gay men, leave them in the street for dead. And we saw it with Matthew Shepard, and it's not only does that ruin everyone that guy ever cared about, but it, you know, it makes a cycle of hate that's bigger than you could possibly imagine.
That's right, man. And yeah, you know, and plus, even I gotta make confession. Like I never used like words like fag unless I was like listening to like an Eminem rap song or whatever. But,
Right. And then at those times you didn't think about it. It's just sort of like He says it, so it came out.
Well, yeah, and also, but I would never use like the word fag on a gay person, or whatever. Middle school going into high school, I just thought that, you know, being gay, it was like it wasn't like I hated them. It was kind of more like they were like freaks.
Right.
It was like, well, that's freaks. And, I mean, because like at the time, like RuPaul was out too. There was the RuPaul, and I was watching WWE, and there was like Goldust and the way he acted too.
Yeah.
And it was like,
I mean, that was sort of like the problem when we first were dealing with this issue. I'd say that we first seriously started to deal with it in like the late 90s or whatever. I mean, first seriously we're almost dealing with it. And the problem was the way it was portrayed. You couldn't not see them as weird or freak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the first hurdle when it actually started to come into the public.
Yeah, but you know what, Rosie O'Donnell, my favorite, one of my favorite female comedians. She's lesbian. I had nothing against her. And also, one of the things when I was getting picked on, people called me faggot, and ever since then, I just didn't like that word. I didn't like the word fag, or I never liked it.
Right. Well, that's actually interesting, and that's something that I also would say to people is that it can hurt all of us. That's true that the people use it so much nowadays that even if you're I still think that it comes down to that you're perceived to be gay. But even if you're perceived to be gay or called that, you have a sting of like their hatred towards you when they say it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind it when comedians kind of say it. But,
I mean, comedy.
Well, yeah.
Different.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Dice being on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Dice said, "Listen, I don't have anything against gays. I just say fag because it sounds better." And you got to remember at the time in the '90s, at the height of Dice's, popularity, in the '90s, women were starting to fight for their rights more, and the gays were starting to fight for their rights, so it was almost like no place for Dice Clay, but of course nowadays, since Dice has had this comeback and stuff like that, it's, and I mean, comedy has kind of been, a target for political correctness, but, we still have Dice Clay and stuff. You can still say some stuff without being perceived as hatred.
Right.
And also, people gotta understand, gays, they're pretty much running the world, like, for the longest time, y'all had Broadway,
That's true, yeah. That was one slice of the societal pie that we had some good amount of power over.
Yeah.
But we had to use that against all the other slices of the political pie or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah, fashion, makeup and modeling and hair. They got that.
How do you think it makes it actually happen in the movies, folks? Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So the women that you love to see on the movies, and oh man, isn't she pretty? Well, one of us helped her out probably.
Yeah. In fact, one time I went on a blind date with a chick. She said, and this was the first time I went to a gay club or anything, and I saw a drag queen up close, and she said, "The good thing, I like drag queens. They give good makeup advice." And you know what they do?
Right.
They do give good makeup advice.
Exactly.
An interior.
You wouldn't quite ask me for makeup advice, no. But it doesn't mean that there's certain people that.
And interior design. Like how to find houses or plan weddings and parties. That's the gays. They got that on lock.
Exactly. So I mean, we do have to be understood for how much we're actually, supporting all these areas of society, and that's the whole other aspect about it. I think the people that lash out the most are actually the ones that that are like, I like to, even if you're like, as you say, we were running things before people thought of us that way.
Yeah.
Actually, it's also like the people that I think that lash out the most are saying, I liked it better when people thought they weren't running anything. I liked it better when people thought they were powerless. I think that's actually what it comes down to as well. You know, either you're taught to think it's weird and hate it, or I don't like that they are actually helping society and they're actually respected.
Yeah, being up on a gay person is just wrong. It's hatred, and especially in the black community. The black community, they kind of see it as the white man's perversion. Gays and stuff. And black community is very heavily in the church and stuff like that.
That's interesting. I've actually been trying to get at that question. Why do some black people that are can be traditional? Why does that tradition then mean we're gonna we can't have gay?
I don't know. Because like I said, black there's been black men in the church for years. There's been black men in the church for years. Little Richard, of course, being gay, and going on to be a reverend, marrying some people, and being one of the great pioneers of rock and roll. Some would say he's the king, and of course there's always that thing between him and Elvis. But gays are everywhere, man. And it's just it's bad. It's bad to beat up on them just because of who they are. What I'm saying? You're my best friend. You're gay, and we have a mutual gay friend. Gay couple that I know.
Right.
I have 2 female friends. One is bisexual. One is a lesbian. I'm cool. I'm cool with gays. No gay person should be beaten up on, right, unless your name is Perez Hilton. Okay, all that shit talking about celebrities' kids who had nothing to do with the business, and
No, if I read more of his probably crap, then I would probably agree.
Oh yeah, him and Gaga, him and Lady Gaga used to be friends, and then they had a falling out. Gaga.
I'm gonna have to trust Gaga on this one.
Oh yeah, he likes to think that he's changed and stuff like that, but I hear about him still up to his old tricks, especially now that he has a daughter and stuff like that. So, rest of the gays, hey, that's cool, but as far as Perez Hilton, fuck him.
See, we can reach solidarity even on this. Isn't that great, people?
Yeah, matter of fact, remember that one time he got punched in the face by one of will.i.am's bodyguards, I think it was.
Really? No, yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah, because apparently there was they got into a verbal confrontation because Perez Hilton had trashed Fergie's album and stuff, and they were talking about it on Opie and Anthony. They were talking about the video he made. He was like, "I'm making this video as Armando Avendeda or whatever," and the Opie and Anthony, they were just like, "Oh, it is, shut up, bitch," and they said, as a matter of fact, the black comedian who passed away. Oh damn, I'm blanking on his name, but he said, if the word faggot never existed, you would look at this video and that's where it would be born. You just say, "Shut up, faggot," But hey, that's him. That was him. God rest his soul.
Yeah. Anyway, you do make a point on where the comedy ends and where the stuff begins. I think that in certain ways, comedians have a freaking art, man, and it's about twisting social ideas. So in a way, they're as long as they're doing it for good reasons, we shouldn't give them a bit of a pass on that. But yeah, I'm glad that the culture is advancing, and that's what it's going to take. And for those, we're talking to fight fans here, right? The other thing is, for those of you that are worried that this will change, the sort of ways of fighting and the availability of fighting in the future. Let's talk about that. Let's say that no, it won't. As long as there is the concept for fighting and there is the fan base for fighting, then
Yeah, I
It
mean,
won't
look.
change, will it?
Yeah, look. I mean, Liz Carmouche. She's openly gay woman and served in the military. She served in the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's one of the top contenders in the UFC's women bantamweight division.
There we go. There we go. So yeah, we're one of us is helping, and there will be more probably.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a matter of, who works the hardest. Doesn't matter what color you are or what sexual orientation you are.
Exactly.
Whoever works the hardest is going to get the title shot.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. And now we're going to get into Blast from the Past. And this is a very special Blast from the Past because it's been 5 years since UFC 117. UFC 117, Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva. Chael Sonnen versus... Yeah, did I say it right? Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen.
So.
Sorry, yeah, I'm tipsy right now. But yeah, and I remember this fight, specifically because I was with my friend Prema. We were at this fight, and I just
really? Where'd they have it?
Well, I mean, we weren't there live, but we were watching the fight at Chili's.
Okay.
In South Bay, and we were just watching this fight, and leading up to this fight, Chael Sonnen was, talking shit, his usual shit talking, talking. He even said, saying like, "Oh, Anderson Silva says he has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Nogueira Bros." That's like saying I got a toy with my Happy Meal, and stuff like that. And Chael was just talking a whole bunch of shit and saying that Anderson ducked him for years, and he said like he's gonna put him on his prissy little ass and what have you.
Oh Lord, here we go.
And for the first 4 rounds, it looked like he was. I mean, like he was dominating Anderson. He was like getting him to the ground, and it looked like he was losing. Man, I just remember thinking like, oh man, my hero is about to get his ass whooped. He's about to lose this fight. And then all of a sudden, it's coming down to the mere seconds in the 5th round, puts him down again, and Chael's bloody at this point, elbow shots and what have you in the earlier rounds. And then, he makes a mistake and, triangle choke. Anderson's got him in the triangle choke, and the whole time he's got him in that triangle choke, I'm going, break that shit, because he's pulling his arm too. I'm like, break that shit, come on. And then he tapped out, and I was like, yes! Oh man, I was yelling. I mean, I hugged my waitress. Who was serving, and I was like, yeah, yeah. I went to go hug my friend.
The waitress. It sounds like a scene in a movie.
Oh yeah, I went to go hug my friend Prema, and Prema was like, "Bleh." I'm a big guy. She's a little girl.
Right,
so,
right.
And then I was hugging this couple from Brazil. They were like, "Yeah, we're from Brazil. We watched the fight." And I hugged them, man. I was like, "Yeah," and I told him, man, I said, "Your country, you guys got the best fighters in the world." And the whole night I was going, "Viva Brazil! Yeah, yeah." Yeah.
Nice. Sounds like a sweet time there.
Oh yeah.
Sweet time down at the Chili's after a night.
Oh yeah, because up until that point, Anderson Silva hadn't really had no adversity. He hadn't really fought through adversity, and of course, going into that fight, we found out later he injured his ribs.
Oh man.
And he just overcame it. Of course, Steven Seagal was in the audience as well. He had just been training with Seagal, and it was an amazing fight, man. And of course, they rematched I think a year later, and of course Anderson whooped his ass again. And that was the thing about Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen had a mediocre career. I mean, even leading up to the first fight with Anderson Silva, he had a mediocre career. He fought in Bulldog, he fought in the IFL, King of the Cage, he fought here, fought there. He even fought Forrest Griffin before Forrest Griffin got on The Ultimate Fighter. Forrest Griffin actually beat Chael Sonnen.
Hmm.
And you know, he always talked his way into a fight. You know, he was a good talker, but whenever it was time for him to win the title, he always came up short. Twice he came up short against Anderson. Moves up to light heavyweight to fight John Jones. John Jones whooped his ass, and you know, he beat Shogun, and then he fought. He fought Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans whooped his ass. Then he got popped for not steroids, but I forget now. Because now I'm really
blood doping of Armstrong.
Yeah, something like that.
But I mean, the
I
crazy,
got
the crazy
the
thing
liquor.
is, I hear what you're saying, and I'm like just now thinking this is probably what it's actually like for the fighters that we don't hear about.
Yeah.
What you're just talking about now, this whole string of things, it's like that's probably what life is like for those fighters we don't hear about. I mean, how many would you say there are? Versus the ones that we hear about a lot versus the ones we don't hear about?
I don't know. It's it's just one of those things that happens. Oh yeah, I remember. It's the testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. That's what he got popped for. He got popped for in the first fight with Anderson, too. He had too much testosterone. Of course, they've done away with TRT since then. But the liquor. So blame it on the alcohol, as Jamie Foxx would say. But you know, Chael Sonnen, he just had a mediocre career. You know, I mean, I was never a fan of his. You know, I thought, you know, he talked the talk, but he couldn't walk the walk. You know, and now he works for Sports Center covering mixed martial arts. You know, on Sports Center, you can catch him on there. And Anderson Silva, of course, is now a legend. And Chael Sonnen is just a mediocre fighter who never became champion because he ran your big mouth, asshole.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's a good fight to look up online, or if you get it on DVD, watch it. And you know,
it's a blast from the past then.
Yep, blast from the past. And now I'm going to get into my rant of the day. And you know, last rant of the day, I was pissed. And this one I'm definitely pissed off about because there are no good places in Boston to watch a fight. I mean, seriously, every bar I go to in Boston, they either say like, we can't show this fight. You know, people may not like it, or management doesn't like it, or this is family oriented. And so, I mean, like for example, you know, on Friday night I went to, you know, I was out, I did a little shopping and what have you, and I figured, you know, I watched Glory Kickboxing at Champions, you know, because, you know, years ago I asked if they show UFC fights, and they go, we can't show UFC even if it's for free. But I thought, okay, well, this is kickboxing, it'll be different. And and I went up to the host and I said, hey, do you guys have Spike TV? Because there's a kickboxing match on later. And they went, no, sorry, we don't show kickboxing or boxing, it's part of the hotel. And I'm like, what? Are you fucking me? I mean, this is a sports bar, and you don't show fights. So I took a chance, and well, second of all, I went to California Pizza Kitchen. In California Pizza Kitchen, they said they were closing at 11, which was the time that the fight started, and I was like, God damn. Then I just went, okay, fuck it, let me try Tasty Burger. So I went to Tasty Burger. I asked if they could change the channel to Spike TV so we can watch the fight, and they agreed. They said, sure. Well, you know, the lady, she let me watch the fight, and I was glad because months earlier, like I asked one of the guys working behind the bar, I said like, hey, do you guys show UFC fights here? And he went, no, we can't. Our manager doesn't allow us to show UFC fights. You know, even if it's on free TV. And he said, like, listen, I like that stuff too, but you know, it's just one of these things. You know, and I got to pick my battles with the manager. But luckily for that night, I got to see a little bit of kickboxing, and then I went home and saw the rest of it at home. And by the way, Dustin Jacoby, man, kicked ass in that tournament, that All-American tournament, taking on Martin Levin, and that fight with Raymond Daniels and Nikki Holskin. Oh, that was a good fight. The fight got stopped because Daniels had a cut on his eye, and it looked like he had a third eye.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's some crazy shit.
yes,
But yeah, no, I mean like, yeah. So I mean like, it's a funny thing. I feel like there would be bars because there's bars that stay rowdy till 3, and like there's like all that sort of stuff. I guess maybe some of them aren't like sports bars, but then you can like work with that sometimes. Or yeah, but I mean I guess that's true. There is actually fighting on TV those nights at Uno, under Uno's Pizza.
Oh, which the Unos around here or the Unos in Harvard?
Yeah, no, there's one down in the city, but there's one up here in Harvard too, and yeah, they were actually showing it. I'm sure you and the other fans, it probably was WWE, so there's that. But they were freaking already showing it. I don't think anyone there had asked them to. So I mean, if you had then went over there and were like, hey,
okay, but which Unos are you talking about? Like you said, the one in the city, like.
No. I mean, there's the one in the city. You could probably do it there too. But I'm saying the one up at Harvard.
Oh, the one closest in the city is like I know one around Back Bay, like around Boylston and Copley. I know that one there. Yeah,
no, I only know the one by Fenway.
Oh, Fenway? Oh, yeah. They show fights there. Fenway. Oh,
well, no. I'm saying they probably could do it because they did it at Harvard Square. Anyway, point being, they actually were already showing WWE, which I know you might think is not real fighting, but yeah, they were already showing it over there, so you could probably get them showed over there. And if they show it at that Uno's, then they would probably definitely show it at the. I'd say go to the Fenway one because that's already kind of sports bar.
Yeah, Fenway Fenway. Like one time I went to a BJ Penn versus John Fitch fight over at GameSpot. Over there, and I saw it with a friend of mine, and that was cool.
Yeah.
I also saw. Well, there's another bar. It's also in Boston. It's I keep forgetting the fucking name of that place, but they show UFC fights there. In fact, it's on. If you go to UFC.com, it's one of the UFC bars where they show fights.
Okay, gotcha.
And for the most part, it's like you got to go out to Saugus or you got to go out to Everett to go see those fights.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not great. We're
we're
already over here. Why would we go over there?
Yeah, like you got to go out to Dave and Buster's and Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, Dave and Buster's is. I mean, it does look like a good place. I mean, it is like a good place to watch. Because they're also, because they also endorse Bellator MMA. It's a good place to watch Bellator MMA. But still, it's just like, you gotta go all the way out to Brookline, or you gotta go all the way out to Saugus, and you gotta go all the way out there just to watch a fight. And on top of that, you gotta try to get the last train or bus out there. You don't want to get stranded. Which for me is hard. I mean, in Boston, the trains run until, on the weekends, they run until like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that is something that gets me pissed off, by the way. Yeah, sorry to throw a whole nother direction. I'm going to do a mini rant in your rant. That actually does piss me off that they weren't able to have enough support to keep the buses and the trains until 3 a.m. We had the trains until 3 a.m. and then they were basically like, well, we're not sure we have enough support for it now, blah, blah, blah. So the reason you think it's 2 is that they actually were cutting back. But we had the trains till 3 a.m. on the freaking weekends. What's up with that? Everyone else is like, this isn't a big enough city if you don't have the trains till 3 a.m. So we should have them,
Yeah, I mean, I wish the city would be more like New York, in terms of public transportation.
I mean, I don't like the Philly transportation at all, but the one thing they do right is they also have the buses all the way through the night in Philly, so there you go.
Yeah, and And also, the same thing happened to me on Saturday night. You know, Saturday night I went to Orleans for karaoke, and back at the last minute, I got canceled because the guy didn't show up for whatever reason. And I'm sitting there in Orleans. They got these big screen, flat screen TVs, and I said, "Hey, could you put on Fox Sports 1 to watch? There's a UFC fight on." And the bartender, she's a woman. She loves the UFC, and later on had to talk about Ronda Rousey and all those fights.
Nice.
And she said, "Sorry, we can't show UFC fights here. You know, people don't like it. I mean, I wish we could, and I wish, but people can't. People don't like it." I was like, "Fuck!" So then I went to the tavern, which is the one that's across the street from North Station. And they got all these TV screens and all that. I went in there, had a water, and I said, I asked the bartender, I said, "Hey, look, there's a UFC fight on Fox Sports 1. Can you have one of the TVs, like, put it on Fox Sports 1? And they're like, "No, we don't we don't put on UFC. We can't show that kind of fighting." And I'm like, "What?" And I went, okay, so let me get this straight. Football, you can show football games and hockey games, but two people fighting in a cage, you can't show that. And the waitress, she said, "Yeah, well, that's considered a blood sport." And yeah, and she said, like, also, we're a family-oriented place. I'm like, okay, you're a bar, you're a tavern. There's nothing family-oriented about a tavern unless little Samantha and little Timmy are going to be drinking pints of
I was about to
angry
say,
apple
don't say
orchard.
if they're going to start becoming alcoholics.
Yeah, I mean, family-oriented. I mean, if you're a pub if you're a bar / pub.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, by the way. It's kind of ridiculous.
Especially at a place where you're showing sports, it's like, there's no room for family. Like I said, unless little Timmy and little Susie are going to start becoming alcoholics.
Right, there you go. And you know what? There's a lot of family shit around here. Honestly, I'm looking for an apartment now. Sometimes it pisses me off how much you go to a neighborhood that is really cool, like Brookline on one side, and then you end up being in Brookline on the other side, and oh no, it's now family oriented. Oh my god, like out here, Brookline, it's like tons of family oriented shit. The YMCA, take your shit out there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and also one more story. Last month, I went to Five Napkin Burger over in Prudential Center, which, by the way, is a good place.
I was about to say Five Napkin.
Yeah, and there was the Carl Frampton versus I think it was Roman Gonzalez fight. Premier Boxing Champions. And I said, "Hey, could you put on boxing on here?" And they said, "No, sure, we can put on boxing." And I said, "Hey, man, what about UFC or whatever?" And they said, "No, we can't put on UFC even though it's a free fight, because UFC later on had a free fight, the Michael Bisping fight." And I was like, and I told them, and I said, what's more violent than football? What's more violent than the NFL? And he says, and the guy half jokingly said, 2 men in a cage. And I said, and then I had to talk with the other hostess, and I said, he said, "Yeah, man, the thing is, we can't have pay-per-view fights, because if it's free fights for boxing, that's cool, but pay-per-view fights, we can't, because, we're a restaurant, and it would cost us thousands of dollars. We tried to get the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, and that would cost us thousands." And I was like, thousands? I was like, when I paid for it, that shit cost me, I think it was maybe $70 or $80, $90 or something for that fight. And he said, "Yeah, but the thing is, it's we're a bar, and we'll have customers come in, and, we don't want to, we'd have to pay thousands of dollars." I don't know how that shit works. But here's my thing for all you restaurants / bars out there in Boston. Please show fights. Please show fights, okay? Because there's no place in Boston to watch these fights. And on top of that shit, on Friday when I went to go see Glory Kickboxing, one of on one of the screens they were showing a rerun of Blue Bloods. A cop drama.
Yep.
I mean, nothing against
It's
that.
always, I was about to say, it's always about the cop dramas.
Yeah, nothing against that show. Our own Beantown boy, Donnie Wahlberg, star of that show.
There you go.
But still, there's no good places in Boston to watch a fight, and it's bullshit. I mean, think about all the money you guys could be piling in.
Yeah.
Plus, with all those flat screen TVs, all those TVs you have, but you can't put on one fight. You can't put on a pay-per-view fight. You can't put on any of that shit. I mean, what the fuck? And and here's another funny story. One of the few months back. By the way, the Tasty Burger I'm talking about was the one in Back Bay, the one that opened like 2 months ago.
Okay. Gotcha.
When this Tasty Burger opened, I remember one afternoon I was in there, and as I was waiting for my burger and shit, I was at the bar waiting. On one of the TV screens, guess what they were showing?
Tell me.
A Teen Titans cartoon. Okay, you could show a Teen Titans cartoon. Nothing against that cartoon. I mean, my niece used to watch that cartoon, and then she got bored. And personally, I think it's a cool show.
Yeah,
but you can show Teen Titans. You can show hockey, football, and you can show a cop drama, but you can't show cage fighting, kickboxing, or boxing. Oh, that's where you draw the line. Fuck you! Fuck you!
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the... I mean, it's like, what is it going to take to get... I mean, what is it... I mean, why do you think they... Because every excuse I hear is like, oh, fans don't like it. It's like, well, for those people who don't want to watch it, then just leave. I mean, plus there's like other TV screens on there. They can't just watch something else.
Right.
I mean, what do you think about this whole thing?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes I do think it'd be, like I'm not as into it or whatever. I watch other sports, so I do think it's good to have a lot of places where I can watch other sports. But that aside, you are right that there are plenty of places that it's about the audience, right? If the audience is right, then that should be their place to go. You can go to the place. I might not go to the place. Like if the audience is right, that should be their place to go, and you should watch. Any fight, even if it's UFC. Like you get UFC, you get Spike TV. So yeah, anyone going to that bar, if they're in the audience, they should watch Spike TV, UFC. I mean, I'm sure there is an argument to be made economically about like pay-per-view fights, and if they're actually going to commit to buying all these different pay-per-view fights, and how much money that would cost. But
yeah, back when I would watch UFC fights over at Chili's when they used to show those fights at Chili's. It was good, I get the flavored lemonades and get some burgers and mozzarella sticks and watch the fights. That was good.
Doesn't sound half bad at all, does it? No.
Yeah, and also I know I said the last one I said one that was like another story, but here's another good story on fights. Okay, about showing fights. Showing fights at
bars.
Yeah, fights at the bars. Like I was oh fuck! No, I forgot. Oh fuck me! The alcohol. I'm totally fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked up at this moment.
Anyway, so I'm not I'm not one to say that maybe it should be that you should have wrestling and fighting in every place, but you are right that honestly there's freaking huge sports bars that the audience would love it, and we should have it.
Yeah, and plus all the money. I mean, all the money that
all the money they get. Yeah.
The money that a Mayweather fight would bring in.
Oh, so there you go.
The Mayweather.
You should actually say that. You should say it's a freaking investment, ain't it?
Oh yeah,
it's an investment, even if they have to pay for the.
It's an investment.
There you go. That's what you should say next time. Even though they have to pay for the fucking shit. like, you know, the one-time shit that they have to pay. It's actually an investment to bring a whole bunch of people in. They're paying a lot more at their place.
Yeah, I mean, they just think about the money, people. I mean, all that money. Oh wait, now I remember the story. It's okay, now I remember. There's this place, Osushi, right? The Osushi in Harvard Square.
Yeah.
And I actually knew the manager. We were kind of, me and him were cool. I haven't been there in a year, but I remember one time they were having TNA wrestling on there. This was when TNA was still on Spike.
Okay.
And I said, like, hey, could you put it on Spike TV, And then they saw TNA wrestling, and he said, oh, no, we can't show it. And I was like, what? It's wrestling. And he goes, yeah, no, but the thing is, it's like, we're trying to attract certain crowds really don't like violence. We can't show UFC. It's like, even stuff on CNN, even though it's CNN and the news, we can't show that. I was like, what? You can't even show violent shit on CNN? That's real world shit. But you can't show that? Oh, man. I mean, I still like Osushis. I mean, I haven't been there in a while, but I plan on going there, to have that spicy, Thai chicken and stuff, because that chicken is good.
Is it? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, like that's crazy. I mean, like honestly, I mean, I understand the news has gotten crazy, depressing and crazy violent, but like honestly, if you can't handle that, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Exactly. But yeah, maybe you and I will have to create our own sports bar. But of course, we're not good at business, man. I mean,
Right,
I'm
exactly.
I mean, it'd be like this TV show Bob's Burger, where because I make a good burger, man. I make good Asian burgers, like wasabi burgers, and I
And you'd probably be calling them different things, like he writes on the chalkboard. The better than Gouda burger.
Oh yeah.
I just saw Gouda burger there.
Yeah, and also I make a John Woo burger, which is like a Chinese hot mustard and cheese. But I mean, we'd be good. I'd be good at burgers, but I'd be a bad businessman. How good of a businessman?
I don't know how good a businessman I'd be. I'd be good at the promoting, but I wouldn't be good at the sustaining business, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'd still need someone else to help us out.
Yeah. So there'll be no Matt and Gabe's fight bar wrestling.
Fighting and flipping, like burger flipping.
Yeah,
fighting and burger flipping restaurant.
Yeah, there'll be none of that anytime soon. Alright, so we're gonna end the show here.
Yeah.
Like us, click on the likes.
So we're gonna have a whole Facebook and other social media presence.
Yep, that's coming soon in September, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So, from Beantown to your town, this is the Beatdown. I'm Matthew Barris.
Gabe Chalmers.
Vios con Dios.